are back at it. Today, I'm joined by a gentleman who's a former WCW superstar. Now, not only that, he's actually known for having one of the best winning percentages of all time. You know I'm talking about Ice Train. Ice Train, how we doing?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Real good, man. Real good. Thanks so much for your time today.
No doubt. No doubt.
We're going to jump deep into your career, but I want to know, what is Ice Train up to in 2020?
Man, actually, right now, I'm getting ready to compete for the world's strongest arms. I'm trying to do a 255-pound strict bar curl.
Oh, wow.
And I'm in real good shape. Real good shape. You ready? And so that's going to jump off in November. So
okay.
Plus, try to get my bench back up over 6 at 55 years old. It's going to be hard, but I'm working on that too. There you go. Good.
Okay.
And just training.
So you used to bench over 600 pounds at one time. Are you still close to that? I know you said you're trying to get back to it.
No, I used to bench about 7.
7? Okay, wow.
703.
703 is your max?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And you said something about world's strongest arms. Exactly how big are your arms now, or at least in your prime? Because you're probably in just as good a shape now as you were then, right?
That's it. It looks the same. Probably much better shape.
Wow. How's that possible?
Nutrition and stuff like that. At 55, you got to wake up. Your body still hurt from the rain a little bit, but I try to get my nutrition up and work out with my sons. I got one of my sons, Miles. He's 20 years old. He got about a 475 bench, and he has about a 7 deadlift and about a good 7 squat. 20 years old.
That's impressive.
Yeah. That's what we do. We train down here.
Nice.
We get in that gym. We beat it up, brother.
Now, help me understand, what is Get Swole or Go Home?
Get Swole or Go Home is my website. I haven't finished with it because I've been so busy. It's like basically you either come into the gym. I got like 3 pro bodybuilders I'm working with right now, getting ready for big shows. And they got to come into that gym and they got to get that weight. Just like Tony Freeman. I used to train Tony Freeman with Lee Haney. You got to go in there. You got to come and get it, baby. You got to throw the bucket. You might throw up in there, but we're going to train that day.
Wow. Okay.
We're going to do high volume reps. We're going to do, just like example, you might get on the bench press and we're not even going to count a number. You might do 225 for 150 reps until you get to that number. And it is real, brother. When you come down to Georgia, it is real. You come in the Stacks gym and you ask for me, man, you were either you're going to have the workout of your lifetime or you get to watch a workout of your lifetime. Every day is full go in there. I'm about to do something with my buddy C.T. Fletcher in California where I'm going to do the gauntlet for him and do some curls for him. He's a good friend of mine. We've been trying to get together, and the pandemic has kind of slowed that down, but man, we're really picking up the training. It's really good, man. Like, I probably look better than I look when I wrestle.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. So, since the majority of the world will never know what it's like being as big and as strong as you, what is it like your typical day?
The typical day is get up, my son make me like 6 egg whites, blend me up my shake. That's like 800 calories. Then I'll go do another meal, do about another 1,000 calories at another meal. I try to get 7,000 to 6,000 calories a day.
Okay, wow, very nice.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into your wrestling career. How did it all start? Is that something you always wanted to do? Did you get recruited?
I played football at a pretty high level, and I was in the gym, and my mentor, Paz Watley, was in the gym. Pistol Paz Watley.
Sure.
And I was squatting like, honestly, about 950 for like 6 reps. And then I went into the gym and I played some basketball. And I just stood up. I told my buddy, I said, I'm just going to stand up here and dunk on you. And I just dunked on him. And Paz walks up to me and says, hey, you like wrestling? I said, man, I love. My heroes were Bulldog Don Kent, Dick the Bruiser, Bobo Brazil, the Mighty Igor. I grew up in Michigan. Those were my dudes.
Awesome. Nice.
And I love Dusty Rhodes. Man, Dusty Rhodes, #1. Dusty Rhodes, my man. God rest his soul. Dusty Rhodes,
Definitely.
awesome guy. And so I came to Atlanta. And I shouldn't have stopped my powerlifting, but powerlifting and wrestling don't go together. You got to be able to move in the ring, and your muscles so tight. And I used to do a lot of heavy lifting, and it would make me tired. And so I kind of had to push the powerlifting a little behind me.
Okay. So being that you moved around very well in the ring for your size, did you have to do a lot of stretching? Do you do yoga? Most people your size probably couldn't move as well as you.
Yeah, I did stretching and yoga and stuff like that. And then later on, I got into the DDP yoga, but at the beginning, I did the stretching and the yoga and stuff like that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I love it, because you're an athlete. And when you become an athlete, it really takes you a couple years, Nick, for that light to come on, because you're so strong. You can just hurt people in the middle of the ring, and you don't mean to, but you just, man, it can be rough on the guy who's never felt the power that you possess.
Did Pistol Pez get you into WCW, or was it Dusty?
Pistol Pez walked me down to Georgia. I met the great Jody Hamilton, which was one of the assassins. And
Sure.
Jody Hamilton really liked me. I used to break a baseball bat over my leg.
Oh,
And,
Jackson style.
Yeah, that was fun. I don't know if I can do it no more, but I used to do it all the time. And take a towel and just break that bat right over my leg. And Jody really liked me, and I could do like a big guy. I could do like 75 to 100 straight dips on the dip bar. It's really good. This kid is an athlete. And I tore my ACL. So my first 2 years out of wrestling, I wrestled with one leg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was difficult to move in there. Then when I came back from Germany, that's when people could see the leaping and the jumping and the drop kicks and stuff like that, because the knee had healed up. But that first year, man, it was rough out there walking around with one leg. But, can't make the club in the tub.
Right. For sure. So your first match in WCW, that was a handicap match. Is that correct?
No, the first match was against Al Green. I think it was the quickest pin in WCW history. It was like 8 seconds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, 8 seconds. And Ole Anderson was the booker. And Ole felt that I was green, but he felt like, hey, we know you can't wrestle, but the people love you. I had the charisma. And Ole would push that. And then when they fired Ole, I went from like 30-0 to then I win 5 matches, lose 1 match, win 10, lose 2. It was a struggle, because they kind of didn't know how to develop talent in WCW.
Okay. Would that be one particular person accountable, or is that just as a collaborative effort? They just didn't put enough time in?
I don't know if they didn't put enough time in, but I feel I felt that I was green, and you could have took advantage of my greenness. You never talked about my weightlifting stuff. You never let me go out there and go do a 700-pound bench, because couldn't nobody do it in the company anyway. The other person might have been strong as me, and that was Scott Norton. And I knew Scott had a legit 640 bench. But and they just didn't know what to do with me. As Teddy Long said on the interview, why didn't Ice Train get over? He said, man, they just didn't know what to do with him. I mean, I was there for 12 years on that payroll. And I could work for a year, be off a year, work for a year. It was crazy, man.
So you had brought up saying not being over. So would you agree with that? So for me, being a fan watching you on TV, it sounded like you were over. It sounded like the fans were behind you and you had good matches.
The fans were, but not the booking office.
Okay, but aren't the fans the most important thing?
The fans, if I can watch a match with me and Bobby Walker, and the people went bananas. And as we walked out the arena, Barry Windham told me, he said, if you don't get a push after that match, you'll never get one. And And I had a match with Chris Canyon. Barry Windham was like, if you don't get, he said, brother, I don't know what they want from you, but there's nobody 340 pounds other than Vader that's doing what you can do. And
Right.
you're not killing people at the same time.
Wow.
Now I do love me some Vader, but that was just one of Barry Windham's quotes.
For sure. So you brought up Chris Canyon. What did you think about him? The innovator of offense, a very good wrestler, I thought. Unfortunately, his story ended very sad when he took his life in 2010.
Man, you know, me and Canyon had a good run together before the company closed. At Canyon against Am I Smooth, we had 3 great matches. And they were really, really good. And we never talked about anything. We just had great charisma together as we worked.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Now, when you brought up Am I Smooth, we'll go back to your Ice Train years, but since we brought up Smooth, so you left the company for a couple of years, right? Around the 2000s?
I was still
97, 98?
I was still there.
Okay, so it says online you left in 97, 98. So you technically never left.
Never left.
Okay, interesting. All right, so they brought your new character out. Was that your idea, or was that the office?
That was Eric Bischoff's idea. And it was going really well where Eric just thought I had Eric thought I was a great talker, and I did the limo driver stuff real good. And when Eric called me, him and Jimmy Hart. I was in New Orleans. We were in New Orleans. Eric Bischoff and Jimmy Hart called me into the back room. And they said, when we take over Fuchsia, you're coming with me. We're going to give you a big push.
Okay.
And I was so excited. And, man, I guess that word had got around. I was about to get a push. And the next thing you know, I was getting crushed by Goldberg in 5 seconds.
Don't get that.
That's how WCW was, man.
Okay, so when I want to get into getting crushed by Goldberg and things like that, because as a fan, it can be annoying when you have a big, strong person such as yourself. But when you come out with a new character, was your goal to try to almost fool fans? You don't want them to know your Ice Train, or it's okay if we know your Ice Train and you just moved on?
The office did not believe how popular that Ice Train was until Am I Smooth came up. They was like,
okay.
They thought fans had forgot. And for years, I could never get out the Ice Train logo. They tried to do the Am I Smooth, and people knew it was Ice Train, and they just say, "Hey, it's just a new, improved version of Ice Train. He just got more experience, but that's still Ice Train." And they couldn't swerve the fans. Let's put it like that.
Right.
It's a big black guy with 25-inch biceps. It ain't too many that walk around in the world.
Who else looked like that? Come on.
Exactly. So they couldn't fool the fans. And it was just because they would, like, I would have matches with Dallas. They were good matches.
Definitely.
And then the next thing you know, I'm just beating somebody in 3 seconds. And then it was very picky, but I love WCW. It was just a company that had too many bosses.
Makes sense.
I mean, like Booker T. Booker T was a great champion, a great tag team person. And I mean, look how long it took them to do something with Booker T.
Right. Took forever before they broke him off into singles and everything. And he became a huge star, of course.
Yep.
So one of your entrance themes when you were Am I Smooth was basically, I don't think it was exactly Smooth Operator, but it was very similar. How does WCW get away with that?
No, Carlos Santana did the video with me.
Okay.
And Carlos Santana was a fan of WCW, and they loved him. And they were going to put a lot of money behind Am I Smooth and put the TV belt on me because they thought I had the charisma to carry it. And when the company just got bought out, all that went out the window, Nick. I was supposed to do a pay-per-view with Carlos Santana playing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, coming out to the ring. And that Smooth guy, man, that was a charismatic dude, man. I liked that. And that was me in the whole fold. I knew what was going. I mean, like Tony Schiavone would really push it. Would be like, "Hey, man, Ice Train, Am I Smooth knows everything in the background. If you need information, go to Smooth and get it." And I mean, like with me and the Kurt, not Henny.
Mr. Perfect, right?
not Mr. Perfect, but I mean, what's his name from Memphis? Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett. Okay.
I remember one day Jeff Jarrett had a match and he was looking like this. So I come in the back of the locker room, brother, you could do anything you want to, Jarrett. You the greatest. Am I smooth? I said, man, you the greatest of all times. I believe in you now. Jarrett, you the man. You know what? I can do this. And then I would go back to his opponent and tell him the same thing. That was Am I Smooth? He was a backstabbing, boo-boo talker and had fun with everybody. And they couldn't push that gimmick for long.
Gotcha. So we'll go back to Ice Train. So you also brought up being losing to Goldberg in a couple seconds. So as a fan, being an Ice Train fan, when I saw an advertisement for Goldberg versus Ice Train or the Giant versus Ice Train, we get excited. Like, oh man, I want to see what Ice Train can do with him. And then you lose in 10 seconds. Why would you do that? Like, people were excited to see. Like, it'd be believable for you to pound on for 5 minutes, and then even if you still had to lose.
Now you got to see the psychology behind the Giant, though.
Okay.
I never touched him.
Correct. You just looked to the side. Jimmy Hart distracted you.
Yes. So that was their way for me to not get angry and maybe do something in the ring that they don't like. Mm-hmm. And it was a way for us to keep our business going because at that time, the Giant was beating everybody. So
correct.
It didn't really matter. That didn't bother me. You know, that did because the way it happened, Kevin Sullivan set it up like a genius, man. I love what he did. He said, Train, go grab Jimmy Hart. When you turn around, you get choke slammed. That doesn't hurt me. Then he choke slams my partner. That doesn't hurt me. But the Goldberg gimmick was I was supposed to take my limo and run over his motorcycles, take his motorcycles laying out there, take my limo, boom, close off his motorcycle neck, tear up his motorcycle, and then he's looking at me, and I'm like, man, I don't know who did it. I don't know how that happened. So we were going to do that, and then some kind of way later on the night, it just becomes a match. That's WCW.
Oh, man. That would have been awesome.
I tell you, Terry Taylor, they still think I'm going to sue the company 20 years later for those 8 chair shots I took in one night against Canyon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was 8 chair shots. So Human Resources was called in my house the next day. You know, I knew what WCW was when I walked in the door. I knew it was some racism in there, so that didn't bother me. I'm a man's man. And it was some things that were done unethical, but you know what? Eric Bischoff treated me good. When he was there, it was always great for me. Eric Bischoff was the best boss I could ever work for. Awesome dude.
Oh, wow.
Awesome
okay,
dude.
So Bischoff is awesome. You said there was some racism, something unethical. Are you allowed to give examples, or would you rather not elaborate on that?
You know, just because we're black, it doesn't mean we can't talk. We all got to dance. We all got to jive and jive. We got lawyers and doctors too. We got guys in the ring who are scientifically sound. You don't got to be barking in the ring. And, you know, some of the characters that they gave in the history of wrestling, you know, just not WCW. That's what makes The Rock so good. I love his character. I love Booker T's character. You can still be soulful, but don't have to walk around like you can't read and write. And those are the things that piss me off about wrestling. Like Ron Simmons, man, one of the greatest champions, a great man, what a great mentor. Teddy Long, great man, great mentor. I mean, Teddy Long and Ron Simmons, thumbs up for them guys. Blackjack Mulligan, thumbs up to Blackjack Mulligan. Thumbs up to Arn Anderson. These were cool dudes where you didn't have to look at their color. Arn Anderson, Blackjack Mulligan, Jolie Hamilton, they just wanted you to do your job.
Right.
And that's what made Arn Anderson, Jody Hamilton, Kevin Sullivan, all great guys to work with. So where the WCW had the racism at, it didn't really affect me because I was still young. See, me dealing with the Giant, I'm still in my 20s.
Sure.
I've still got time for my mega push is coming. My push is really coming at Am I Smooth? I am doing more TV at Am I Smooth than ever. and then the company closes. And then Vince, you know, because I didn't go to Vince years ago, man, that was the payback. No, I'm good. That's when I was just like, I'm gonna retire. I'm done with wrestling. I don't need to do it no more.
Okay. So the door was open for you to go to WWE, and you just decided to
Oh,
retire?
oh yeah. I just decided to take care of my kids,
Sure.
enjoy my life, and I wasn't going to go. I mean, Stevie Ray didn't even go up there,
Right.
you know. So it was
Interesting.
just my time. I was good.
Gotcha. So do you remember who reached out to you, or?
Oh, Lauren Knight has called me a couple times,
Okay. Did he? I
and
could
that
see
was it.
WWE doing a lot with you. Did he really try to sell you
You
on
know
coming
what?
over?
You know what? I wasn't interested in the bullshit anymore.
Okay.
When I mean, I love Mark Henry, but in powerlifting, he couldn't put a pimple on me, and just benching and squatting and deadlift. No, to this day,
Okay.
my numbers are 75% where they were then, and I can just go walk into a gym and do a 700-pound deadlift in 2 weeks with 2 weeks practice. I can
Okay.
go do it. I mean, I was just strong, and nobody knew how to push that character. But it's okay though. I
Gotcha. So
survived
you
it.
said you were stronger than Mark Henry, or at least as strong. So you hypothetically you could have qualified for the Olympics as well, like he did. Just so
If
I
I
understand
train,
what you're.
if I train for it, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure
But
you could. Yeah. Okay.
that's a different kind of training. And what Mark
Hmm.
did was phenomenal. But when I'm talking about powerlifting, that was my sport. Bench press,
Excellent.
squat, deadlift. That's my sport. Yeah. I mean,
Gotcha.
I was benching 580 in college. These were legit bench presses. This
That's
was no
incredible.
garbage. This no walking to the park garbage. And yeah, it was great though. It was great, Nick.
Sure. Okay.
And I mean,
So
I love what Mark Henry has done, but I was doing my weights at 280, 290. I wasn't 400 pounds benching 600 pounds. I was 280 benching 690.
sure. I've heard Mark Henry bring you up a couple times on his show on Sirius XM, Busted Open, excuse me, and he said very good things about you. So
And I mean, and you know what? This is the thing. If me and Mark would have got together, it would have been one awesome tag team. It,
absolutely.
it would have rocked the world. But I think I was just really misunderstood. A lot of people thought I was like really mean, but I wasn't. I just didn't put
Wow.
up with bullshit, Nick.
Hmm.
If you were phony and fake, yeah, have a good day. Like Mark, man, I know we could have been a great tag team together. There
Of
would have
course.
been no stronger tag team ever in wrestling than me and Mark
Ever.
Henry. Ever.
For sure.
It was solid. It was nobody stronger than me and Mark Henry to ever lace up some boots, and then maybe Scott Norton. That would be it. And I'm talking about
Definitely.
legit strong men.
Oh, no doubt about it. For sure. So we're talking about the BS going to WWE. So one of the people you worked with early in your career was Buff Bagwell. I talked to him recently. Do you have any input on why he was in WWE for just that one match with Booker T and he's basically let go? Does that make sense?
Buff was a businessman, and
Hmm.
WCW paid us a lot of money. And we had a lot of houses going on. We had a lot of mortgages. And financially, Buff just couldn't go up there and lose that guaranteed money he got with WCW.
Okay.
So it turned out better for Buff to not stay with Vince.
Sure. Okay. How'd you like working with him? I know you teamed with him a little bit,
Oh
especially
man,
earlier
Buff.
on in your career.
Oh man, me and Buff, we're still friends. I saw Buff 2 months ago.
Okay.
Buff is the stuff, man. He's still. I mean, all these guys like Mark Henry. That's my brother. I met
Hmm.
Devon Dudley at an autograph session, man. He just touched my heart, man. Just great guys. Just great guys. Buff Bagwell, DDP, Jake the Snake. Those man, Jake. We call Jake the Snake Uncle Jake. Jake the Snake is a cool dude, man. Oh my God, one of the best. Dallas Page. You know, just good people, man.
Sure.
It's good people, Nick. It's the
Yeah.
brotherhood of pro wrestling. I have nothing bad to say about any of my brothers. They are awesome, man. You put those boots on in that ring, man. You all one fraternity. Black or white, red, Puerto Rican. You all one brother. The
That's
politics are
awesome.
the politics are the people who write the shows, who choreograph to do the choreography for the shows. But the wrestlers itself, it's a lot of respect and it's a lot of brotherhood, Nick.
Mm-hmm. So when we were talking about race a little bit and racism in wrestling, we lost Kamala not that long ago, weeks ago. The gimmick of Kamala, do you have an issue with that?
Man, I thought Kamala was a great gimmick. I just thought how they used him and didn't financially take care of James was the sad part. I think the most money he made off one pay-per-view was 100,000, like 70, like $50,000,
Hmm.
and the Undertaker was getting 500,000.
And I think that's why he left WCW. I think he said he had a match with Hogan. Hogan got paid something crazy, and he got maybe a tenth of it or something ridiculous. I can't remember the exact numbers.
It might have been
But
a 1% of it. Hogan might have made. It was peanuts on the dollar, and that's what was wrong with some of the things that happened to Kamala.
okay.
He just wasn't financially taken care of. But man, just a great like. But you got to remember, the office and the boys are two different things, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho gave him $5,000 or $10,000 to help bury him. That's one of the boys. The
That's
office
awesome.
did nothing, but the boys took care of James. The boys love the boys. If
That's
I
good to hear.
needed
Take
something
care of each
today,
other.
if I needed something today, I can call DDP. He can call me. The boys. It's a brotherhood,
That's awesome.
and all the guys in the business, they all love each other, man. I'm telling you, black and white, man. It's no color, man. Them guys are all brothers, man. The office makes wrestling into the negative part that it is.
Sure. So now James Kamala was such a nice guy. Do you think maybe they took advantage of him because maybe he's not the type of person that's going to slam the table and argue, or
Yes, that is true.
because he was a huge draw, obviously.
Kamala was it was a beautiful character, man, and people just love James. Yep. Just like Bobo
Sure.
Brazil, man. Those are legends, man. I mean, you talking about Bobo Brazil, man. Oh my God. If you ever pull up some footage on Bobo Brazil, it's outstanding, Nick.
Sure. Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Definitely. Now you had your tag team with Scott Norton. I loved that team. Why was it not longer lived?
I think I'm gonna take the blame for that one
Oh, really? Okay.
because I thought I was more ready to be by myself. And I thought really basically if they wanted me and Norton to really turn out right, they should have just dropped the straps on them and see how we can hold them. Because we had classic matches against the Steiners. And then I think Norton, Fire and Ice was hot.
Definitely.
And I don't think that we were ready for what we could deliver. And I know I dropped the ball. Maybe I should have fought to keep the team longer together. But I was
Okay.
like, man, I'm good by myself. I was younger than Norton, so I
Sure.
was kind of a little butt white, bro.
Gotcha.
I was that prima donna athlete. Why am I tagging with him? You know, why is he the... I was always a natural aggressive guy, but they tried to paint me into that babyface stuff, man. That used to drive me crazy.
Okay. Paint you
Smiling
into a
all the
baby
time.
face. They didn't like you doing the smile and all that?
Yeah, all the smiling used to drive me crazy because every day you don't wake up want to smile. Some days you wake up pissed off.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you ever was there any talk about turning you heel or anything like that?
Well, by the end of the WCW term, you didn't know who a heel and a babyface was.
Right.
Yes. Me and Canyon's matches were just solid. And no, they
Definitely.
never talked about that because they never knew me like Germany. Like Germany knew who I was. Working for Otto Vance enhanced my career. They knew who I was and knew what they got. WCW was just WCW. Put on your boots and we'll figure out something to do today.
Sure. Now, so you brought up possibly it being your fault with Fire and Ice and then how sometimes WCW dropped the ball. So what would you do differently in your career, speaking of yourself, and what do you think WCW could have did better with you?
Me and Norton would have went down and started putting some matches together and, you know, just fed off each other a little bit more a little bit more, even more aggressive than we were. I think we could have really made that team work. But I didn't try to make it work. I was glad when it broke up. You know, he went his way, I went my way, and that's just how it was. I don't think he knew me. They just threw us together. We never went out. Me and Norton even never went out to dinner, brother.
So you just would have made a better effort to let WCW know you're into the team, maybe go out to dinner with them, get to know each other a little bit better to try to make it work?
You just threw us together. Example, Booker T and Stevie Ray were brothers.
Sure.
Real brothers.
Right.
Steiners, real brothers. Butch Simmons and Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, they put their team together. You got to spend time together to be a great tag team. And I was doing my thing, and Norton was doing his thing, and I'm going to say I dropped the ball on that. That's all.
Okay. Now, what could WCW have done with your character that would have been better? Give you a better push, give you a title?
I thought a lot of, with the fan reaction, I thought I would have been a great TV champion. That's my opinion. Yeah. I knew how to entertain the young fans, and I knew young kids loved Ice Train. Choo choo, man, they love that stuff.
For sure.
They did.
So that should have given you maybe a belt, is what you would say?
No, I didn't need a belt. I was over with the minimum push that they gave me, and that's what makes me proud.
Yeah, people you definitely were.
I mean, I was doing good without a push. Even when they tried to bury me, I still could come from the grave, so it didn't matter.
Definitely. So we talked about your winning percentage. Did you have the exact amount of wins and losses?
I think I won over 200 and some matches, and I might have lost 18 total.
Okay. Sure. Now, we were talking the other day, and you corrected me. So you had your match at Hog Wild with Scott Norton. I said that was one of your losses. You corrected me and said that was not a loss. They stopped it. And I think it's even online where it said it was technically a loss. But that's incorrect, right?
That is incorrect. I didn't do anything. The referee stopped the match. I didn't say I quit. I didn't stop anything. That was it. The referee thought my arm was broken, stopped the match. I never tapped out. I never quit. I never said anything. I just worked through it. And as macho, it was. If you watch Fall Brawl, it was probably one of my best matches because I sold the hell out of that arm.
Definitely.
I mean, I made Norton look like he was the giant, destroyed it, and Norton was taking advantage of it. Man, it was a great psychology match. You got a big, strong guy. You wrestle one arm against two arms. No, it was a great match. It was good. I liked it.
Sure. What is the legacy of Ice Train?
Man, just a fun-loving guy who loved the fans. I love my fans. I love them when I go to autograph sessions. I love them when they text me and they all say, man, Big E Langston is just like you, your little brother. It flatters my heart, man. It's cool.
That's awesome to hear. Do you get recognized a lot if you're at the grocery store as Ice Train?
Man, you know what? No, because of the beard. And there's no way they think Ice Train. Like I told you, Nick, I said, if you went to my Facebook and looked at my workouts, you wouldn't think that was a 55-year-old man in there.
No, not at all. Yeah, look better than most 30-year-olds.
And thank God for that. But no, a lot of fans don't recognize me. But when I go into an autograph session, they look and they say, "Whoa, my God!" Yeah, I mean, like I was going back to Japan before the pandemic to work and stuff like that. But I mean, I get a lot of. I mean, it's been a beautiful ride, man. That kid out of Detroit, man, I really enjoyed that character, Ice Train. It was good, man. I love pro wrestling. It was a good move for me.
So for your off the radar segment, unfortunately, we lost one of your friends. He passed away a little over a year ago, and I don't feel he gets enough enough respect in the business of wrestling. I'm talking about Maxx Muscle. What can you tell me about Max, Big John?
Man, you talking about a teddy bear, a fun guy, strong as a bull, a good person. And that's what I'm saying, Nick. That's a piece of talent that WCW could have developed for the later years.
Absolutely.
The only thing they cared about was the ratings that night, and that was it. And once the ratings came out that night, they never looked on the future. You know, they never thought about booking, you know, for man, what can we do with Maxx Muscle against Hulk Hogan in 2 years from now? You know,
Mm-hmm.
they never thought about that. They never went into a room and said, hey, Max, this is how we want you to act. This is what we want you to do, or anything like that. They never did it. They would just go as you go, man. It was like a free-for-all, brother.
Wow. I mean, if you think about it, who looked like Max? Who had the look? I understand he may not have been the most technical person, but he did improve as he went on.
Yes, he did. I mean, that's 350 pounds. What else you want from it?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, somebody tried to. I mean, sometimes people will say he didn't have mic skills, but I want to say there's only one recorded interview that's on file that I can find, and that was when he was with DDP, one or two or something. I don't know that they gave him enough practice or experience.
No, his brother, he was still young. We learned on TV. There was no 3 years of house shows. We went from the power plant to TV. And brother, that is hard.
And that's a big problem. I mean, because he didn't get, a lot of people will get hundreds of matches before he even put him on TV. I don't know that he got that exposure then, kind of like you're saying.
He got no matches before he got on TV.
So yeah, exactly. What do you expect at 350?
Yeah, exactly. So he should 2 clotheslines, pin a guy, 2 clotheslines, pin a guy. And that's how it should have been.
Yeah, he had a cool finisher and all that. When he passed on 83 weeks, Conrad Thompson asked him, gave him a little shout out. He said to Eric Bischoff, what can you tell me about Max? That's kind of disappointed because Eric said, I have really nothing to say, which basically tells me Eric didn't get a chance to, or didn't make the opportunity to even get to know him. I could be wrong, but he didn't really even say anything. Like, he was a nice guy. He was a hard worker. He was strong.
Well, Eric didn't know him.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't look like he made an attempt to get to know him. Again, I understand how big the roster was.
Yeah, Eric didn't know him. Eric never got to know him. So, I mean, that's just how it was, man. They were paying guys money and expecting them to produce without coaches and developing talent. That's what makes WWE was just so much better. You know,
Definitely
that's
could have put a little
just
more
made
time
it
into
better,
it.
man. You know,
yeah,
you don't need to do a 15-minute match when you ain't got 15 minutes worth of cardio.
Right, that's for sure. Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Before I let you go, is there anything you want to promote? How can fans keep up with you?
Man, they can go to Ice Train on my Instagram and check out some videos. And they can go to Harold Hogue, my Facebook, and text me. And if I look at their profile and friend them, and they can follow me to shattering this world's strongest arm record, man. At 55.
Excellent. At 55, still doing it. Good luck in your competition.
Nick, bless you. Have a great week, man. All the fans out there, choo-choo, brother. And just keep plugging along and get through this pandemic and these tough times.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Nick, have a good one. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye.